Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, this is Kram. My name is Euroctic, and I found the solution to fix the crafting problem of the boots in the Path of Exile 2. Yesterday, there was a podcast in between Dart, Microtransaction, Gazi TV, and Path of Exile 2 developers, and on the end of the podcast, there was an extremely interesting question that sparked this idea that I'm gonna present to you in this video.
For sure.
Okay, movement speed on boots. Any feelings about having them be implicit, or, I mean, basically movement speed mandatory on boots, or else you're really slowed down. So how you guys feel about moving movement speed to implicits, or do you have any feelings on movement speed on boots?
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a problem to have a mod that's really, really valuable on an item that you definitely want to go for. Like, boots are certainly the case where that's like the most extreme, but I don't necessarily think it's a problem as such. So, you know, like, I personally don't have a problem with it. But I don't
That's
know.
a good idea.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like having it that like, yeah. I think it's good.
I mean,
physical on a
like
weapon.
if you added move speed implicitly to boots, would you then be like, okay, well, like IPD on weapons, like you start to get into funny territory in some sense, right? We're like, you know, so anyway, that's kind of our feeling on it.
To give you a little bit of a context, what was the question? So in Path of Exile, certain items do have implicit and certain items do not have implicit. For example, this crossbow right here, this is the base of the weapon, and this base has the implicit increased bolt speed. Rings always have implicit, belts always have implicit, some of the chests do not have implicit, some of the chests do have implicit, right? So the question was to just implement the implicits that have more and more movement speed, the better bases you get. Now, the reason why this question was asked is because movement speed on the boots in the Path of Exile 2 is not in the right place. In Path of Exile 2, the only way to get movement speed on the boots, the most mandatory, the most important stat in the game is to roll the movement speed on the prefix. Every single item can have 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes, which means that our next exalted orb is gonna guarantee prefix. But let's calculate the odds of getting the movement speed on these boots first. These boots right here are having these stats right here. Our next exalted can give us or evasion rating stun hybrid, or movement speed, or flat evasion, or flat mana. Every single item has the weight on the side, which means that in most of our cases, it is going to roll twice as often mana than, for example, hybrid evasion stun threshold. But that is not it. Firstly, you have to win this 6% weight, and then on top of that, once when you succeed with rolling movement speed on the boots, you need top 3 tiers, which means that the chances of getting movement speed on these boots in this scenario is 1 in 10. Roughly 1 in 10. And let me just be clear, even obtaining these boots right here is extremely difficult with having such a good rolls. And the life of these boots depends on this exalted right here. Failure, we got a hybrid. I hope that you will see the point, right? And that's the reason why this question was asked, because it is insanely difficult to get movement speed that is 25 plus. Currently in the Path of Exile 2. Now, what would you do with these boots in Path of Exile 1? You would stop crafting, you would go in crafting station, there is a crafting station where you can manually select the stat that you want to have on the boots, but it cannot be the best, right? You will not get 35% movement speed, you're gonna get 25% movement speed, but even if this has 25% movement speed, this item would be used and highly valuable, because it has really good stats. Right? In Path of Exile 2, that is not the case. That's the reason why that question was mentioned. And by the way, in the current state of the Path of Exile, it is not just that you need movement speed on the boots. You also need attributes. You need chaos resist. You need so many things on the boots. You're gonna get or perfect multi-mirror boots, or you're gonna have vendor trash. There is nothing in between. Because you need attributes, you need resist, you need chaos resist, you need life, you need that high evasion, high energy shield. There's just way too many things that are really, really, really important on the boots. And movement speed is ruining it all. I do agree that movement speed should not be on the implicit, because I have a better idea. I'm gonna give you the examples with the bows, okay? Every single bow base has physical damage, critical hit chance, attacks per second, and then some of the bows do have implicit, some of them do not have implicit. And when you're rolling the bows, you have a prefixes. For example, this bow right here, in the suffix, it is increasing the attack speed by 5%, and this attack speed here is altered. You see how it's 1.26? It's 1.26 because of this attack speed here. Same thing goes with the physical damage. This physical damage here is altered by flat physical. Or for example, this critical hit chance here is blue because it is altered by critical hit chance suffix. So my suggestion is to implement base movement speed on the boots, and then adding the movement speed prefix as a multiplier to increase the movement speed on the boots. Which means that these boots right here, they should have here movement speed base, 20%. And then you have a prefix that is increasing that movement speed. Which means that these boots right here can roll base of 20, right? And this can be multiplied by 1.5, and those boots are going to be 30% movement speed, right? This is going to be altered blue, just like the weapons. Spread this video as a fucking plague, because it has to be done like that. It has to be. We do not have a crafting station to craft movement speed on the boots to make them usable. Obtaining good boots in Path of Exile 2 is extremely difficult, and it has to be done like this. I hope that you guys enjoyed in this one. I hope that you learned something new. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. I'm streaming on twitch.tv/Euroctic. Out!